Origin PC desktops offer premium build quality and 24/7 US-based customer support. Find out more at the link in the description below. And now, some poetry with Mike. It has been such a bore without an episode more. It's time I opened the door to uncover Toontown's lore. Time to settle the score with Dead MMOs, Episode 4. You're probably wondering who I'm dressed up as for this Halloween. Well, I am dressed up as my arch nemesis, random guy with a mask. Definitely hasn't been done before. No, it hasn't been done before. I hope everyone is having a nice Spooktoberween or Halloween or whatever you internet folk call it. Hopefully you guys have some candy. I have this giant, nice king-size Hershey's bar. Not even edible, but it's comfortable. Soft. Love it. Anyway, back to the point of this video, it's time to tune up with Toontown. As usual, let's start with the game and its downfall. Toontown Online was, you guessed it, our cartoonish MMO released by then cartoon juggernaut Disney and developed by Disney Virtual Reality Studio. Not to be confused with modern VR that involves a bulky headset strapped to your face. It was also developed by Shell Games and Frog Children Studios. The game was released on June 3rd, 2003 on PC. Now at the time, there wasn't that much competition for MMOs of that size, except maybe Final Fantasy XI Online and EverQuest. Emphasis on maybe. Plus, it wouldn't be until 2 years later that the next big MMO, Club Penguin, also created by Disney, would release. If you want to see a history on that, click the eye at the top right corner of the video to see my history on that game. Toontown, after the extensive customization of your cartoon character that you would play as, you're thrown into Toontown Central, the main hub world. Your mission is to defeat the evil cogs that are trying to make businesses on the streets of Toontown. What do you fight with? Well, gags, of course. Yes, you use various cartoon gags as combat tools. There are 7 classes, those being Tune-Up, Trap, Lure, Sound, Throw, Squirt, and Drop. Each have their own unique line of weapons and have their own individual strengths and weaknesses. Tune-Up is the healing track. Trap is exactly what it sounds like, a trap for all the enemies. Lure is what is used to bring cogs into said traps. Sound attacks all enemies for somewhat lower damage. Throw is slightly more damage but less accuracy. Squirt is slightly less damage but more accuracy. And Drop is a lot stronger but way less accuracy. The enemies that you attack are robots called cogs, as in the gears. There are 4 different kinds of cogs, each representing different business types. We've got cash bots, lawbots, boss bots, and sellbots. Each cog type has one different looking bot for every level, 1 through 12. Then there are EXE cogs, which have skelecogs underneath, and version 2.0 cogs, which are stronger versions of their regular predecessors. Where do these cogs come from? Well, each type has its own headquarters, as a matter of fact. These HQs were located at the corners of the map, as you can see on the JPEGotron. These areas were the darkest and most dreary parts of Toontown, constantly being in black and white, completely absent of tooniness. In order to survive the factories in each headquarters, you had to develop enough health, also known as laugh, and level up your gags enough to last an entire run. Speaking of runs, there's a short route and a long route for every single factory. The short one tends to be a little more forgivable for lower level players, but not by that much. What some may not know is that there's linearity in terms of difficulty, and there's an intended order for tunes to go in. Typically, Cellbot is the best starting one as it has the lowest level robots, so it's a bit easier to do. Then you're meant to go to Cashbot second, Lawbot third, and Bossbot last, so you're somewhat going up the corporate ladder. Now, what is the point of these factories? Well, after doing a run of a factory, you will receive a body part of a cog disguise. Beat the factory enough times, for example 10 times, to get your level 1 disguise, and you'll have a full suit, which grants you access to the boss of each headquarters. Cellbots have the VP or Vice President, Cashbots have the CFO, which is the Chief Financial Officer, Lawbots have the CJ, which is the Court Justice, and boss bots have the CEO. I have no idea what that one means. Each boss has a unique battle, but they're all technically the same business rank because they're all the highest levels of leadership in their respective areas of corporateness. One would think, who's the president? Who made these cogs and these bosses? Well, there was a final boss intended to be in the game, but unfortunately there's no concrete end to ToonTown. There's no special thing you get when you defeat every cog boss. Although a fan revival under the name of ToonTown Corporate Clash actually has a final boss fan-made. It's pretty well done, I have to say. If you want to see a video of that, click the eye in the corner up here, and it'll take you to a video by ToonTown YouTuber Megasnoop. If the factories are a bit too intimidating for you, you could always try cog buildings. These buildings randomly spawn on the streets of ToonTown, and range in difficulty, with 1 being the easiest and 5 being the hardest. Each dot on the face of a cog building represents a floor, and each floor has about 4 to 6 cogs depending on the difficulty. These are typically great ways of grinding up gag points so you can last longer in the aforementioned factory. Okay, this sounds great, a diversity of weapons and quite explorative. Well, it doesn't stop with the gameplay, my friend. This, I believe, had the best membership out of all the MMOs in this series. For one, you could explore the entire game without a paywall. It's very much explorative. Granted, this game was kind of small, but that's besides the point. Not only that, but a lot of the game's features were still open to you, such as pets, gardening, and minigames. This isn't to say that it didn't have drawbacks. It did, but it was a lot less of a hindrance, and you got to experience the entire game. For example, you could go literally anywhere. The entire map is open to you, even if cog buildings and cog suits are behind membership. You could still go through the factories, though. Other than this, a lot of things were free for everybody, which is how the free-to-play model should be used. Now for the moment we're all waiting for. It's time to talk about why it died. Kind of fitting, because, today's Halloween. Everything is dead. In this series, ToonTown is the second longest running MMO, having run for 10 whole years. Quite a coincidence, since the longest running MMO in this series is the reason why it shut down. Let me explain. As mentioned in the Club Penguin video, it was at its peak in 2013. At that time, Club Penguin had over 200 million registered users, as opposed to ToonTown having declining popularity in the past few years. Ultimately, it was the rising success of Club Penguin that shut down ToonTown. On September 19th, 2013, all of ToonTown's servers were shut down. Since then, a number of revival projects have been released supporting ToonTown and its community. The first worth mentioning is ToonTown Rewritten, which is just the original game brought back in all of its toony glory that we love and remember. Yet this time, there's no memberships, otherwise they'd be sued. Then there's ToonTown Corporate Clash, which I mentioned earlier. It's the original game, but with additional content. For example, a new area that was Goofy Speedway in the original game is now a black and white world called Ye Olde Toontown. In addition to the locations being changed, there's a whole new series of cogs known as board bots. Adding on to the new species, they have their own headquarters as well, with a fan-made boss fight against the supposed creator of all the cogs. However, the Toon Resistance has not found sufficient information on how to infiltrate said base, so the Toons for now must focus on the original 4. Overall, I think ToonTown was unique in the sense that it was a decent MMO that broke the mold with its animated look, vastly different combat system, and how open it was without a membership holding you back behind a paywall. Thanks for watching this episode of Dead MMOs I Played as a Kid series. Get ready for not only the last episode of the series coming up, but also my secret project will be released soon, when specifically, I cannot tell you yet. If you want to see me live, follow my Twitch channel in the description below. If you want to find the date that my secret project will be uploaded, stay tuned on my Twitter. And hope you all had a Toontastic Halloween. I hope this mask didn't scare you. But plot twist, it was me the whole time.